I don't want something to watch. I want to chokeslam a bitch. WrestleMania should never just be something to watch, because the people that are blind to these everyday problems, that's exactly what they're telling you. Oh, well, it's something to watch. WrestleMania should not be something to watch. WrestleMania should be something you need to watch and will watch, where everybody from every corner of the globe gathers to watch the best spectacle in all of wrestling. I give WWE credit in this trying time in the world to keep their shows going, but there's no need to have WrestleMania with no fans. You can delay, build better, and delay it until the summer, or what happens if it's not done by then? Then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. WWE is still going on WrestleMania with no fans. I think it's a huge mistake. Monday Night Raw was all over the place last night. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw and why WrestleMania going on right now is still a bad thing. It was the first time that WWE Raw, at least to my knowledge, had no crowd last night. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about in terms of that is kind of how this show was all over the place. And I'm not really mad because I understand the situation. I understand it's a shitty situation, and they have to do without crowds. The problem is not doing without crowds for Raw and SmackDown. The problem is that they're going on with WrestleMania. Now, I admire their commitment to going on with things, but I don't think a show, especially like WrestleMania, needs to happen. I think it needs to happen, but it doesn't need to happen right now. I think the best thing for them to do would be to move it to the summer. Now, Nick, what happens if in the summer this virus is going on, it's the same, or it's progressively gotten worse? Then you cross that bridge and say, well, this is what we're going to do. WrestleMania without the fans, to me, it's just not a possible thing. You can have a Raw, you can have a SmackDown, you can definitely have an NXT, you can have all those shows without fans, but having a Raw or having a WrestleMania without fans, WrestleMania is for the fans. And a lot of people are sitting here telling you, well, this is something to watch. It should not ever be something to watch. That's the problem that I have with it, is that it should not be something to watch, okay? Raw on a Monday night should be something to watch. George Lopez coming on at 2 a.m. For people that can't sleep in middle school, that's something to watch. This should not be labeled as something to watch. WrestleMania is supposed to bring everybody together. Now, you can't have fans, and I understand that. But to have the show without fans and in the Performance Center, even if they, I know this is not really their choice, but what if they had it at Tampa Bay Stadium? They had the fireworks, they still had all of those things, but they had no fans. That would be really weird. But it's just, they were doing semi-good building this show, and now for this situation to occur, again, it's not their fault. It's nobody's fault. This virus is terrible. I urge everybody to stay inside, obviously, avoid being places that you don't need to be at. But for them to go on with the show, especially now, it's just, I understand when people are saying it's something to watch, and I understand the commitment aspect of it. I do. That's great. But it's not right. It's not. But that is my opinion. So let's go over Monday Night Raw kind of. This show actually got me angry. I felt almost every emotion watching this show because this show was all over the place, and I had no idea why. So the show started off with Edge coming out. Edge cut a very nice promo, and he challenged Randy Orton to a last man standing match at WrestleMania, and I think that is perfect. That would be a perfect match for their feud, and that is something to definitely look forward to. But the problem is, again, it is not going to be in front of fans, and it's all this excitement that I want to have. I don't know what they could possibly do without fans. Now, they've made Raw and SmackDown work, sort of, but it doesn't feel, the excitement level, knowing of what it's going to take place as now, just doesn't work for me. Again, not their fault, but it is their fault because they're choosing to go on with the show. It comes down to Vince McMahon and what he wants to do. And it rubs off as, well, we want WrestleMania to be in front of no one, but we'd rather have the shows in June, like Extreme Rules, which nobody cares about. We'd rather have fans for those. I would much rather have WrestleMania in the summer and not have a show like Extreme Rules, not have a show like Money in the Bank. For the love of God, put the Money in the Bank match on WrestleMania. It does not need to be a separate pay-per-view. It's cool and all. Yes, we love a Money in the Bank ladder match, but it's not necessary in terms of generating an entire pay-per-view, okay? That's where I'm coming from with that, okay? So why not have that be in July? Battleground. Who wants to see No, who wants to see that shit? Battleground. Nobody wants to see that. We want to see WrestleMania with fans. And again, this is not their problem, but it's their choice to go on with the show. So Edge cuts this promo. Great, love it. Then, going to commercial, we see Becky Lynch arrive to the arena in a nice truck that is labeled The Man. All this is cool and that. And that was the first 15 minutes. And then right after that, everything went to garbage. They elected to do this on SmackDown. They showed us the Elimination Chamber tag team match, which was a spot fest, but they showed it to us all on SmackDown. I said, okay, well, maybe they're trying to kill time, right? XYZ. Then they do this again on Monday. They show the entire men's Royal Rumble match from start to finish. We know who won already. It was a good Royal Rumble. We liked it. We don't need to see it again. This killed over an hour of time on the television show. The next time something occurred that was in the ring, it was about 10 o'clock. But what happened next? Let's erase the Royal Rumble part of it. It's already 10 o'clock at this point after they air the Royal Rumble again, okay? So what the hell? 10 o'clock comes, and it's time for the Undertaker AJ Styles contract signing. Now, this was really interesting because we see Undertaker come out, but he didn't come out like the normal Undertaker. He was dressed like the American Badass Undertaker, and he came out, and he was not doing his typical entrance. He sped walked to the ring, flipped the table of the contract signing, paced back and forth, went to commercial. Took a long way to commercial, came back. What the hell's going on? The Undertaker throws shots at AJ Styles, says XYZ, says what he's going to do to him, and then AJ Styles appears. AJ Styles' music hits, right? They don't want none, all this and that. Doesn't come out. Hits again, doesn't come out. Then he comes out on the Tron, talks about what he's going to do, this YZ. AJ Styles has the contract in hand, and he says, he signs it, and that is that. The OC gets sent to the ring to give the contract to Undertaker. And as they're doing that, the lights go out. Where's the Undertaker? He's standing behind them. He attacks the OC and levels the OC, and that is the end of that segment. Nice little segment. Okay, I liked it. What happened next? We saw wrestling for the first time, and it was a little bit past the 10 o'clock hour. We saw Rey Mysterio versus Andrade Cien Almas. Rey Mysterio was to win this match, and what I hated about this match the most was the fact that Asuka was on commentary. My God, is she terrible on commentary. I cannot listen to her on commentary. She was literally sound like she was taking a shit for 5 minutes, and it was just ear. I had to hit the mute button. That was how bad it was. And that's kind of just what happened from there. Rey Mysterio won the match. And coming up next, we saw different promo screens. We saw Becky Lynch come out, cut a promo. And then we get to the end of the show. The end of the show was actually pretty interesting. I actually thought this was funny, and I actually laughed at this. Stone Cold came out. He had it was 316 day, for all of you that didn't see the 45 different promotional things throughout the show. And he had a bunch of these index cards reading off of things you can and can't do on 316 day. And there was this point early in the promo where he looks at the crowd and he says, "Give me a hell yeah." And they pan the camera to the crowd and they show nobody there. I thought that was funny as hell. And then he kept saying, "Give me a hell yeah." And then literally out of nowhere, we see Byron Saxton yell hell yeah and take his camera set off. Byron Saxton is so cringe, but yet so hilarious at the same time. And Stone Cold would continue to read off of his index cards. And as he does so, Byron Saxton is standing with numbered signs, giving him a rating based on his joke. And it was like 5, 7, 9, 10. He would put up a number based on how good he thought the joke was. Eventually, he got asked to come to the ring, shared a beer, and a Stone Cold Stunner was given, and that was the end of that. And then Becky Lynch comes out. She shares some cold ones with Stone Cold. Byron Saxton gets up again, another stunner delivered, and this was how the show ended. So this show was really all over the place. And again, it's not the fact of them going on with WrestleMania, okay? I didn't say to cancel the show, but The fact that they're having it in the capacity that they have is what bothers me. This Raw review was literally 2 minutes because there was nothing really to discuss out of this Raw. I will not be doing Raw reviews going forward unless significant things happen, because it is a very hard thing to do for a show that is not very good. So I appreciate everybody watching. I might actually upload another video today. We've got all this time on our hands. That is pretty much all that, and that's all I got for you. So I appreciate everybody watching.